Morning, everybody. How we doing today? How's your Thursday? I hope it's good. This guy back here, his Thursday's been excellent. I'm out here with my buddy today, Danny Diamond. He invited me to come out fishing with him, and it has been a ball. Let me tell you, it has been a ball. He hasn't let me catch a walleye yet, though. He's caught everything in the back of the boat. He's running, so we've been out here, we're at 5 species this morning, and it is just full of life out here today. We came out of Lakeport Bay this morning. We're down here on the east end of Oneida Lake. All of our damage, except for early perch this morning, has been in 24 to 32 foot of water. I had a carp this morning on a blade, about a 15-pound carp that woofed the blade. We've had perch, sunfish, walleyes, and there was another one too. A sheep's head. That made our 5. That's a Oneida Lake Super Slam right there. Danny just boated his 5th keeper. I'm telling you, I've had one bite all day today, and it was that carp. Danny just landed his 5th keeper, and you had what, 2 throwbacks, 3 throwbacks?
2 or 3 hours.
2 or 3. So you've had 7 or 8 walleyes this morning, and his has been spread between a chartreuse worm harness dragging off the back of the boat with a bouncer, and then this blade here has done all of his jigging damage. I don't 100% know the make of that blade. It looks to me like a rot jaw, but I think that's the key right there. Does everybody see that VMC bladed treble right there? This combination has done some work today. I mean, some serious work. And I can't tell you if that's solely based on that little extra flash. Danny and I have been talking a lot today about the differences, and listen, we're standing 8 feet apart, and I've caught a walleye or 2 before in my life, but every day you never know whether you know whose turn it is. But the one thing that we talked about a lot this morning between him and I is how people do things and the differences in how people fish. Now, typically for me, when I am drift jigging, I'm casting straight downwind. So the wind's going this way, my boat's like this, and this is how we're going, and I'm casting with the wind, typically straight. And bring it back fairly straight. There's 2 key differences in what Danny's doing this morning as to what I'm doing. He's fishing off the back corner of the boat, and when he's casting out, he's casting at a 45-degree angle, and by the time his drift is done, it's behind the boat. And so there's that. So his lure is coming back cross current. Now, if anybody remembers the video last year that Mike Urema and I did, Mike calls that fishing the J. Okay, and you're out on the one side, and it comes around the corner like this, and it turns back towards you, and there is the bend of the J right there. Today, that has been deadly. Now, I've tried to mirror his cast a little bit to the outside. I haven't had any success, but yes, we're both fishing blade baits. But there are some fundamental differences to how it's being done today, and one's worked exceptionally well and one hasn't worked at all, and so that's got to tell you something. Now you'd be like, okay, well, do that off the front of the boat. It would be the wrong hand for me, and I don't know that it would work correctly. I mean, I haven't really tried it. Another key difference too is he's fishing a St. Croix rod that it's a very light action, soft rod. It's still medium power, but it really is a full bend. And when you watch
moderate action.
Moderate. When you watch him behind me on his jig and stroke, he's bringing that rod a long way, and there's a lot of travel with it, but it's such a light action and so soft that it's probably only moving at half that distance. So my guess is he's only bouncing that off the bottom each jig 6 to 12 inches. So there are three things right there. The blade itself, that added flash of that VMC bladed treble, the angle he's casting at, and the action of that rod. Now maybe it's moving that bait just a little bit slower and it's more of a brrr, where mine, when I jig mine, it's brrr, brrr. Those vibrational signatures are individual to a blade, and they're individual to how you fish it. So some days maybe you slow down a little bit, some days maybe you speed up a little bit. Now I've varied my cadence this morning tremendously. It simply hasn't worked. Cycled through all my good colors. Homie was on all morning. It's a perfect overcast day. Homie should still be in full play right now. I've cycled through them twice. I've thrown jigging wraps. I just didn't get bit. Fishing's fishing, right? But what I wanted to do was talk about some of the differences. And like I say, now this is a difference in 6 foot of distance here between us. So you never know sometimes, and I'm never above, and nobody should. I'm never above learning, watching, experimenting, trying, and figuring it out. And I've been pretty focused all morning fishing. Now I've been distracted by looking at the thousands of carp that are out here on the surface, eating these scum lines of mayflies. But I fished pretty hard all morning, and sometimes even when you're not catching fish, this is going to be in the memory bank for the next time, and for you guys the next time. There is no wrong way. The theoretical practice of fishing is just that, and anything can work at any time. And I'm never one to say there's only one way to do it or you're doing it wrong, because that's not the case. And that's how Danny and I started the conversation this morning. I said, you know, some people would tell you you're doing it wrong, yet he's got a limit of fish, and so and half of that limit is on the blade. So how could you be doing it wrong if it's working and they like it? So don't close yourself off, period. Don't close yourself off in life or in fishing, and always be willing to learn and watch and see what's going on, and then put it into practice. You can watch and learn all you want, but if you're not actually then putting it into practice, then what's the sense? You know, there's always another way to skin a cat. There's always another way to catch a fish, and they're proving that this morning, which I think is fantastic, and it's going to make for a great morning report. What do we got for surface temp out here? 65? Surface temp is 65 degrees today. Again, we're on the east end. We're in Lakeport, right in front of we're past Freemax now, but we're right in front of Lakeport Bay, and we just drifted across a couple of those humps and through that deep water. We have a west-northwest wind today, 5 to 7, light and variable. It's been a perfect drift. Overcast morning. It's really been great. And buddy, I have appreciated you big time.
Sure.
Taking me out this morning and showing me some things.
Sure. Anytime.
All right, let's do a big finish here, man. So thanks everybody for joining me today. Thank Danny for taking me out this morning. And as always, keep your tip up.